So hello everybody, I'm finally back from my vacation. I know I have been publishing videos for the last 2 weeks. I hope that you saw the video where I actually announced that that was the case. I have been visiting my family in Spain, Asturias. It's been a fantastic time with my family. And then, as you saw on the previous video, I've actually been in the Swedish mountains, just doing some sports and some relaxing actually. We are so close to Norway, so I spend like 4 days in Trondheim. It's a fantastic city by the coast of Norway. So if you're planning to go to Norway, if you have the possibility to go there, it's a bit up north, but it is a fantastic place actually. But I'm here to talk about my vacation, and you probably want to hear more about Power BI and what's going on in Power BI world. So I thought that we would focus on that instead. What I was thinking of doing in today's video is actually to do a frequently asked questions part 2. If you remember, I did such a video a month ago probably, and then I challenge you to ask me some questions so we could have a frequently asked questions 2, and you've done it. So I thought that I will do exactly the same as before. I will go through the questions that you ask me from my phone and I will answer them, okay? So frequently asked questions take 2. Let's see what you've been asking me. All these questions have been published on the comments of the previous video. I will say the same. If you have any questions that you would like to ask me about Power BI, just shoot, okay? So I will make sure that I do frequently asked questions part 3. But for today, we will stick with the questions that you asked me for this video. So let's begin. We have Region 77, and this is his question. Can we use Power BI to write data back to SQL database? It says, for example, if I create a survey from an app on Power BI, can the results of that survey be written back into an SQL? And I've actually published a video on Monday about that. Okay, so the video is called Export Data into SQL from Power BI or something like that. If you just write that in Curbal, the video will show up. So yes, it is possible, but you need to do it using R. And there are of course other ways to do it that is more manual. I think using R is the most automatic way I found that you can do it. So check the video. Everything is in there. I will post a link on the description box here in case you don't find it, okay? But yes, it is possible. On that video, I got a question that is it possible to export to Azure SQL, because I'm showing how to do it on a local database. I haven't had the time to explore that, but as soon as I will post a new video on that. So local SQL database, definitely check the video. Moving on. We have Miltinho. He says, I have very important questions. Thank you, Miltinho. And he says, what does Kerrville means? Well, you've been asking me that before. I plan to do a video on that, so I will not spoil it here. You will have to wait a little bit more. It will come soon, probably in a month or 2. So we will have to keep the secret for a little while. But if you want to take a guess, just do it on the comment box. It would be quite fun to see what do you think that Kerrville means. He says, okay, seriously, I have problems using parameters. Can you show us some simple and complicated examples? And I will definitely do that. I will do a deep down tutorial on parameters on another video, if that is okay with you. So definitely. About Curbal, you have to wait a little bit. Vida is asking, okay, more questions, Ruth. If you use SQL as a data source, would you import a whole table and remove unwanted columns, or would you use SQL query selecting only the columns that you want? I mean, Power BI does not like white tables, okay? So white tables means a table with a lot of columns. So it is preferable that you only import the columns that you need. Now, if your model is not too big, if you don't have a lot of data, you can do it. It won't affect performance, but I think it's a good habit to have, just to import whatever you need and nothing else. Just so you don't have to redo your models a lot. So try to prepare for big, even if you are working with small data sets. That would be my tip. So to answer to your question, I would say just import what you need and nothing else. So yeah, then, for example, if you want to analyze just actual and previous year, would you use SQL query instead of loading all data, all years? And that would depend on what other calculations you would like to do. And this is a typical question, for example, for Google Analytics reports, where you can import aggregated data or raw data. And it depends on if you're going to use the old years for something else. And because you need it anyway, you can load it. If you're not, why import it? You could actually do the calculation behind the scenes and then import the aggregated data into Power BI. So that is more a design question that you have to consider when you are creating your model. And try to think a few steps ahead. You don't need to think on the further in the future, but at least to see, okay, what would I like to have in a few months or a year. So hopefully that explains the question. Otherwise, let me know. We have Rodrigo. He says in Spanish, I will translate. He says, I have a question. Is there any way to write or create a parameter in Power BI where the user can actually change the value, and by changing the value it changes the graph or the visual? And he has an example. He says, for example, what happens if we increase the budget by 5%? And you couldn't before, you could not do that. You could not use parameters for that, but you could, for example, export the data into Excel and then use what-if analysis. But guess what? August Power BI update, they introduced the what-if analysis. So now it is absolutely possible. I haven't tested what-if analysis yet. I don't know if you have. As soon as I test it, I will, of course, make videos so you can see how that works. I'm a bit surprised that not a lot of blog posts have shown up on that. I'm not sure if there's not such an exciting news, or it's just so easy to use that nobody bothers in explaining it. But I haven't had the time. Perhaps there's also another reason. If you have that time to check it, let me know in the comment box what you think about it, and is there any scenario that you would like me to cover on a future video. I will definitely try to do that. We have Matthias. He said, I have a few questions. Question number one, can you only do queries and DAX calculations in Power BI Desktop? And the answer to that is yes. So Power BI Desktop is what you use for modeling your data, and then Power BI service is what you use to share it. You can do tons of other things there, but that's where you actually publish your model and then invite other people to share your information and your data. And you can only do DAX calculations as it is today, at least in the desktop. I don't see that changing, but who knows. It says, if yes, I wonder how many records it can handle. And I actually read a Power BI blog about somebody that actually tested that, and the blog post is highly entertaining. He actually goes painstakingly and just tries to find how much can Power BI handle. I am going to post a link in the description box so you can also read that post. It's a really good read, and I'm so grateful that he did that for us, because I can imagine it was a lot of job, a lot of work to do it. So to know that answer, check the description box and the blog post. So next question from Matthews is, if you are connected to, for example, SQL, and you want to publish it with the Power BI service, how does it handle the data set? I did not really understand the question, but Viking Guard actually took the time to answer him, and thank you for that. And this is what he wrote. If you're connected to a SQL database on premise, you need to install a gateway close to the data source, and then you can refresh your data 8 times per day. He writes if you have Power BI Pro license, but this is all the information. Now with the free license you can do exactly the same thing. So I hope that was what you meant, Matthias. If not, let me know and we will try to clarify that even further. And he has a last question, and is, how long are you working with Power BI, and is it your job? And I've been working with Power BI since it started, but you know, the program is like very new. So it's 2 years. It just, you know, filled 2 years in August or July. But I've been working with the DAX from the Excel time, since they introduced it with Power Pivot, so that's quite a few years. I also plan to do a video where I will tell you a little bit about how I got started and you know, why and all that kind of stuff, but I'd rather do it on another video so I can explain a little bit more. But yes, it is my job, and I've been working with it for a few years now. So yeah, these are all the questions I've got. Now, I really encourage you to ask me more questions. If you would like to see a frequently asked questions Power BI part 3, I would love to answer. You can ask me anything you like around Power BI. I will try to answer it, and if I don't know, hopefully somebody here in the community will know what the answer is, and then we can share it together. So I hope you enjoyed the video as usual. I am now finally back, and I went back on my normal schedule. That means Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. Mondays is mainly Power Query, the M language, but I can do other videos too. Wednesday is anything that I find interesting, that I think you might find interesting too. So there I do all kinds of videos of all sorts. And then we have the infamous DAX Fridays, where I go through DAX functions and also DAX measures. So I will continue with that, and I have a good surprise for DAX that I will be revealing. I don't think this week, but next week probably, if I have the time to finish everything up. But I think you will enjoy. But with that said, if you like the video, thumbs up as usual. Share it with somebody that thinks that would like to know all these questions, or the answers to all these questions. And if you are new to the channel, subscribe. And I will see you very soon. Bye.